Look, if you've listened to Snaps for an amount of time, we love talking movies, TV shows. Some of our favorite TV shows are Netflix when they do their sports behind-the-scenes documentaries, right? Drive to Strive's incredible. Aaron, I know you love Full Swing. What do we both love, though? We both love football. And right now, just dropped today, Netflix is offering you unprecedented access into the day-to-day lives of NFL quarterbacks. I'll explain more about that in a little bit, right? But we are a college football show. And so now I go to you, Aaron Murray, our own SEC record holder, our personal QB1. I see Drake May. I see Michael Penix. I see Caleb Williams. Who do you think, which Saturday star is going to be the next Sunday legend?
Well, there's only one in that list that has a Heisman Trophy to his name. That's Caleb Williams from USC. And he has all the attributes you want for a quarterback. Great size, great arm strength, creativity inside the pocket, the things that scouts are drooling over at the next level. He's going to be an absolute superstar. He already is a superstar right now today. I think he may be the best draft prospect over the past decade. He is a day one starter immediately once he comes out next season.
Yeah, and who knows, man? Maybe we'll be seeing Caleb Williams on the next season of quarterback. For now, the first season just dropped today, and it follows Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. And really think about the 3 different years these guys had. Mahomes wins the Super Bowl. Cousins wins his division. Mariota disappears on his team at the end of the year, and you get to see it all right now on Netflix. Go check it out today. Trust me, it's awesome. Quarterback on Netflix.
I dedicate my life to football.
I love to compete.
At this point, all that really matters is winning.
Why short to cousin, right?
Clamp, 2-step rip.
Quarterback is more about the mental side.
They're going to come at you. When you come back 6 days from now and do it again and again and again.
Yo, let's go, dude. That just got me hyped up. Real talk, man. Not just because it is, kind of cool to be doing ads for a company like Netflix. I'm someone who normally slings like HVACs and concrete. So that's kind of cool. But like that show actually looks awesome. Like I'm excited to go check that out. Later. Welcome into Snaps. Thomas, Nate Dogg, Greg, Bilbo, everybody else hanging out in the chat. Cody, what's up, man? Sean D. Look, I know. We've been gone for a little minute. Wilk, what's happening? We've been gone for a little minute. Or we've been doing shows. So if you're listening on podcasts, it doesn't matter. We haven't been here live, hanging out with you on YouTube. Summer, moving, transitions, whatever. The point is, we're back today, tomorrow, and then next week. We'll figure out next week. We're going to be at SEC Media Days. Your boy's getting hyped. I'm T-Bob Hebert. He's Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's up, man? How we feeling today?
Feeling good. Yes, that Netflix documentary looks absolutely awesome. I love the racing one, like you said. I love the Drive Survive. I love the tennis. I love the golf. I love all of them. So this quarterback one's going to be pretty badass. Going to have to watch that. Probably not tonight because my wife is not a big football fan, but next week when you and I are in Nashville, most likely then late night, going to be singing in some episodes.
Maybe just cuddle up on the couch together in our bed.
Ooh.
I always have a fantasy, like, what if they accidentally book us in the same room? And then we're like, well, do you want to stay? Yeah, sure, I guess we could stay. And then we just end up getting to share a king bed for the entire week. That'd be fantastic. I've heard stories about how you used to treat your boys back in the day. And I think I would be down for such
Especially the big boys. Especially the big boys.
That's what I'm saying. And speaking of which, I bet you see that in the quarterback document. You got to take care of the big boys up front. Aaron, the other day you were, look at Thomas. I'm finally paying for my own Netflix too. I'm officially a man. Congratulations, dude. Congrats. Big congrats.
You want to hear some depressing news though? And I'll get off my soapbox after this.
Yeah, sure. What a great way to start the show. Yeah. Give me some depressing news.
I know. Cause we used to BS a little bit. Here's a quick BS. Started to do it now, not later. So after the 4th, we got home from a nice little 5 days away. Our compressor on our fridge went to shit. So our house smelled awful. All the meat, everything. We walked like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Get a new fridge. We've been waiting about 6 days for it to come in. It literally just got in right now. Luckily, my nanny's home, so she's like dealing with it at the moment. And I just got a text from my nanny with a picture that said, the fridge that just got delivered has 5 gigantic dents in it. They need to send it back. You need to call Home Depot. So it's going to be probably another week before I get a fridge in the house. So Oh,
you got like a
great.
little tiny one in the interim or anything going on? Or are you just going
No,
completely
we have
fridge?
another fridge in the basement that is like a normal size fridge. So we're
Look at
just
that.
having to go
I was
up
about
and
to
down,
say,
up and
you
down.
might be I was about to say, you might be the only human being in the world with a nanny that doesn't have a 2-fridge household. So, like, if you have a nanny, you have more than one fridge. This is just the way of things. Were you at all tempted when your fridge broke to yell, no, you know what you should? You should call and be like, hey, this new fridge unit has a bad motivator. Do you know what that's from?
No,
Anybody?
no,
That's from,
no.
that's from Star Wars.
Over my head.
A New Hope.
It's a very deep cut.
It's not that
Very
deep.
deep.
It's not that
Wow.
deep. It's when they try to buy the R5 unit off the Jawas when we first meet Luke and Uncle Owen, and he's rolling around, and then it pops up, hey, this R5 unit's got a bad motivator.
Stadium to play with some power converters.
Yes, there we go, bro. This is the way. We did that. Okay, hold on. No, stay focused. See, you almost got me, Aaron, with your bullshit to start the show. But we're gonna dive straight into the show with some bullshit. Because that's exactly what this take from Aaron Murray is. Aaron, I need to know where you said this because our excellent executive producer and creator. Oh wait, I'm clicking the wrong thing on my phone. And creator of the show, Ryan Brumley, texted this to the group, and it is a quote from Aaron Murray. Quote: I wouldn't say, and this is talking about the UJ Bulldogs schedule. I wouldn't say the schedule is that easy. I think George is just that much better than everyone else. You give that schedule to 95% of the country, and that's a 9-win and 3-loss at best schedule. Aaron friggin' Murray. Look, man, I get it. You know, I'm a homer too. I do LSU stuff. So, like, I get it. You got to pump up. Like, was that said on like a lounge dog episode? Like, where did you say this? Where was this uttered?
I did say that on a Players Lounge show that actually does come out tonight. Me and Brooks Austin, another big-time UJ personality. We're just kind of debating about all the noise and negativity around Georgia football and the schedule's too easy and the guys drive too fast. So, just defending it a little bit. And I wasn't saying this to get clicks. Like I firmly believe if you give this schedule to 95% of the country, it's not like they're just going to run through it and it's going to be an undefeated season. Like there's tough games there that these teams were going to have winning records. These are quality opponents. South Carolina, a quality opponent. Kentucky this year, I think is going to be a quality opponent, especially with Devin Leary at quarterback. I think Missouri is going to be a good team. Ole Miss is a difficult game. I think actually a very good game Ole Miss is. And then at the difficult game. So
I'm trying.
It's not an easy schedule, T-Bob. It's not that easy.
I am bursting at the seams.
Give Texas that schedule. Give Texas that schedule. What does Texas go? What does Texas go with that schedule?
You tell me, Aaron. You probably think they go undefeated because I think Texas.
I think they lose 2 games. I think they can go 10-2.
Way. Aaron,
all right, give me another. What does Clemson go?
You are no. Stop it. Okay, first off, Clemson probably goes fucking undefeated or 1 or 2 losses.
No.
What are you talking? You just try. We ostensibly look. I know this job is more about entertaining than being right. But at a certain point, you push the envelope on plausibility. Did you listen to yourself? Like, I wish we had a way of replaying the last minute. Because I was bursting at the seams.
There will be 4 teams inside the top 25.
No. Stop. Stop.
Yes.
You just tried to claim the Georgia Bulldog team, who is fighting for national championships, just tried to claim South Carolina, Kentucky, and Missouri as hard games. Get the fuck out of here. Get off the show.
Tennessee.
Get off the show. And Ole Miss and Tennessee. What did Ole Miss do last year? They started 7-0. It's like 7-6. Tennessee is all I will grant you for the rank of tough game. Now, maybe a little bit to your point, because Georgia is so good, none of those games are tough, okay? But guess what? Yes. Every other major team that is Georgia good, they actually have a game where they could be challenged. Georgia is the only one that doesn't have a single game. Like, look at this schedule, Aaron. Show me the game where Georgia won't be a double-digit favorite.
Possibly Tennessee by the end of the season. I could see Tennessee making a run this season where that game could be within 10 points.
Alabama goes undefeated against this schedule. Ohio State goes undefeated against this schedule. Michigan
that
goes undefeated
5%.
against the schedule.
They're in the 5%. I'm not talking about the 5%ers here. I'm talking about the tier below. When it those 5%ers, the Michigans, the Ohio States, the Georgias, the Alabamas of the world, like they should go undefeated on all their schedules. Obviously, besides Ohio State, Michigan have to face each other. But what game does Ohio State have on their schedule besides Michigan, where they're not going to be also double-digit favorites? Most likely.
But
they probably will versus Notre Dame. They probably will versus Notre Dame. They probably will versus Notre Dame, and they probably will versus Penn State. So maybe one of them they're not, but it's not like it's that drastic of a difference, especially when you think of the fact that Georgia was supposed to have Oklahoma on the schedule. And you say all you want about Oklahoma last year, and we're about to defend Oklahoma here in a second.
I know.
But just take Georgia away from the equation, and you look at the schedule, and
It's
you
an
could
easy
say that's
SEC
a quality
schedule.
opponent.
It's still an easy
It's
SEC
still
schedule.
easy. I get that. Yes, it is. It's an easier SEC
easy.
schedule, but it's harder than
That
any
is my
ACC
problem.
schedule. It's harder than any
True.
Big 12 schedule.
True. But, and this is, okay, so this is where I actually have to credit you, because the more we talk this out, you did the genius thing where you said something that is maybe kind of misrepresenting the truth, but you did not lie anywhere. Like you said, 95% of the country probably would lose 2 or 3 of those games because those are pretty good teams. But at the same time, when people say Georgia has an easy schedule, the implication there is easy for them, right? That they will not be challenged.
Yes.
And so you're kind of taking advantage of the inherent strength of the SEC. So it's actually a pretty smart quote, but I do want to shine a light on it like a group of cockroaches to show it for the farce that it is. Because yes, it is an easy schedule. It is. And you have Florida, who should be hard, but they're way down and they look like they probably suck. You can tell me Kentucky, Devin Leary's going to be good, but Kentucky just had a top, a second round quarterback. They had all their running backs back and they were awful last year. So I don't believe in them. Mizzou, no, get out of here. Okay. Maybe they were tough for Georgia last year. They weren't that tough for a lot of these other schools. And then Ole Miss. So no, it's an easy schedule for Georgia. You are that good, but you can't. At a certain point, you just have to eat the shit and just say F him. You know what? Yeah, it's
what
easy.
is their fault?
We're going to go undefeated.
Is any of this their fault?
No.
Like I'm not. You can't. I hate people. I hate people. Like the fact. I just hate the fact that people are turning this into blaming Georgia for having an easy schedule. Like it's their fault that the rest of the East sucks. It's their fault that Auburn, who is a rival, is down right now and is going through a coaching change. That they don't get LSU and Alabama or A&M from the West. Like that is out of their control. What is in their control, and Josh Brooks' control, who's the athletic director, is the out-of-conference game. Well, they did have Oklahoma on the schedule, and that was taken away from them because of the addition of Texas and Oklahoma. So the conference in general got rid of those games. So once again, I just want fans to understand this isn't Georgia's fault. This is an SEC East fault, and it's an SEC fault for, it's not even their fault. It's a good thing for adding Texas to Oklahoma when they did, which essentially took away these home and away games for these big time games from Texas, or I guess Texas and Alabama are playing, but Georgia and Oklahoma.
I know.
So
why is
this
that,
is
why
not
did they do that? Why did they
Georgia's fault. This is Georgia benefiting from all those shitty circumstances that have kind of fallen to their lap this year.
I would agree with that. So you're saying that the quote was born of defensiveness, because you were tired of Georgia being attacked for something that was, Look, I can meet you there. We can compromise and meet each other right there. I'm sorry, that's a weird inside joke. I have a friend who says compromise as compromise. We can compromise and meet each other in the middle, because it's not Georgia's fault, but objectively, it's a very easy schedule. And I mean, I prefer like people who challenge themselves, like, LSU started with FSU, but sure, whatever. Speaking of Oklahoma, though, I have no idea why they kept Texas, Alabama, got rid of LSU, or excuse me, got rid of Georgia, Oklahoma, but they did. But I did want to speak on the Sooners a little bit here because it's Big 12 Media Day. And we kind of touched on the polls the other day where Texas ran away with the media voting. 41 of the 67 votes say the Texas Longhorns are going to win the Big 12. Then I think it's about 14 for Kansas State, which good on them. That's well deserved. They deserve some respect. Then it's Texas Tech and Oklahoma at 4 apiece. TCU 5th with just 3 votes. A couple of things to point out here. First off, bit disrespectful to TCU. I was shocked to learn that out of the past 14 years, half of them, TCU has finished in the top 7 in the country, has finished the season in the top 7, half the last 14 years. Kind of weird to think about on that. Second thing to point out here, Texas Tech is building a pretty nice program over there.
Yeah.
Like, I do not understand. I talked about it on Off the Bench this morning. I do not understand the Texas football economy. Like, they have enough high school players so that A&M, Texas, and Oklahoma can all have top 10 recruiting classes. And then there's still enough players for Baylor. There's still enough players for Texas Tech. They love football so much and have so much money that every single player on Texas Tech gets $50,000. Like, it's kind of shocking how overwhelmingly large the Texas football economy is. But now, let's get to Oklahoma. Because, good on Texas Tech. But why? When I look at Tech, why, Aaron, does Oklahoma have so much more doubt surrounding them compared to that of Sark in Texas?
Well, I do want to close the loop real quick. A question was asked in the chat from Cody about why did UGA have to cancel versus OU, yet Texas and Alabama have to face? That's because they played a game last year. So they're able to get both games, one in Austin and then this year in Tuscaloosa, where the Georgia-Oklahoma was going to be this year and next year. So they couldn't essentially do a home and home with both teams being a part of different conferences. That's the big difference, which I think Sean D just jumped in the chat as well and answered that somewhat as well. So thank you, Sean, for that in the chat. Back to your question, T-Bob, about why is Oklahoma not getting enough love compared to Texas? I still struggle this myself because I don't know why, and I know you got a better grasp on Oklahoma and their brand and everything they've accomplished. I get it. I just don't view Oklahoma as a monster brand for some reason when it comes to them versus Texas. So I still think Texas is such a behemoth in my mind that people give them more credit. I think people saw the product on the field last year. While it might not have been great, obviously it was better than Oklahoma. They thrashed Oklahoma. They returned a lot of starting potential on both sides of the football. It was an elite defense, a really good defense. They're elite talent at the receiving position. And you have a quarterback that I still think a lot of people are buying into, where you look at Oklahoma and you say, okay, not a great defense. Could it be better this year? Yeah. Will it be better? We hope so. A good quarterback. And there's a lot of question marks at the skill position spot. I just think there's a lot of question marks right now when it comes to Sooners heading into the season, where I don't think the only question of Texas is, can they reach their potential? That's it. It's not a question of, do they have a quarterback? Do they have receivers? Do they have a defense? Do they have 5-star running backs? No, they have all of that. And they have a lot of those that are proven, or that they have those positions are proven that they could play at a high level. It's now, can they maximize that for a 12-game season, where once again, Oklahoma, a lot of those positions, yes, they're 4 and 5 stars, but they haven't necessarily shown us that they could play at that 4 or 5-star level. That's the disconnect.
I think it's pretty, I didn't really think about that. So Texas did have a very good defense last year, despite the fact that Sark's an offensive guy, and they only went 8-5. Oklahoma's offense, when Gabriel played last year, wasn't bad, but they had an awful defense, despite the fact that Venables is a defensive guy. So it's kind of like, okay, which head coach can get their side of the ball? They're supposed to be masters of, like, which head coach can get him going. This is where I'm at with Venables. I'm not a believer. I'm a doubter of both.
Who
Texas
do you believe
and
in more,
Oklahoma.
though?
I don't know. I think that I believe that Sark is not a very good head coach. I think there's more than enough evidence to show that. I think that I don't know with Brent Venables. So in a weird way, Brent Venables is starting to occupy the space in my brain that Anthony Richardson left, right? Where, remember pre-draft, we're talking about Anthony Richardson. It's like, look, we've tried plenty of great quarterbacks in the NFL that end up sucking. So why not go with the guy that's never even really played quarterback and see how he does it? In the same way, it's like, I've seen plenty of good coaches go to big schools and fail. So why not kind of believe in the guy who's never been a head coach, and maybe he'll be good. So I actually don't know. I think it's a huge wild card. He could be way worse than Sark. Like, at least I do believe that Sark will be stable. I would be shocked if Sark had another losing season at Texas. And with Venables, he could do that. But Venables' ceiling could also potentially be higher. I'll tell you this. I didn't think Venables could recruit, and he's proved me really wrong there. I mean, just earlier this week, to get Devon Mitchell, a 5-star tight end out of Los Alamitos, California, originally from Texas. He's going to reclassify into the 2024 class. But like recruiting has been a problem. They've absolutely murdered it in the transfer portal. He did a pretty impressive Brian Kelly-esque job of completely turning over this Oklahoma roster. So I think there's potential there, right? I think here's a little fun.
Well, they also have an easy schedule too, though. They also have an easy schedule.
Yes. Sorry.
I think there is an opportunity for him to make a massive step from a 6-7 team last year to a team that could be fighting for 10 wins. Like I think
they should.
I think
win
it's more likely. It's more likely for Oklahoma to get to 10 wins than it is for Texas to get to 11 or 12 with a bowl game. Like I do think Texas is a better team. I think Texas has an opportunity to be 11-1, to be fighting for a playoff spot, to get 12 wins with winning the Big 12 conference. Like I think Texas is good enough to do that. But if I had to put my money on Texas going 11-1, 12-1 with winning the Big 12, or Oklahoma being 10-2, 10-3 this season, I'd probably lean towards Oklahoma because of the schedule. I think you could see a team go from 6-7 to 10-2 based only on the fact that they have a schedule right now that lines up beautifully. Arkansas State, SMU, Tulsa, Cincinnati, Iowa State. You get the big one versus Texas. That's a one that I would say Texas wins that game. That's the first one where you probably lose. UCF, Kansas, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, BYU, and TCU. Like
that's great. I mean, that is easy. Brent Venables better be in the Big 12 championship. Brent Venables and Steve Sarkisian should be facing each other in the Big 12 championship. If they aren't, they both failed. They both have better rosters than the rest of the conference combined. They both have returning quarterbacks. Brent Venables got an entire offseason to fix his defense, which I love this quote. If we just get better on defense, this is from Venables. If we just get better on defense, we're going to win 10-plus games and have a chance to compete and hang a banner up at the end of the year. Well, no shit, because last year it couldn't have been much worse. They played the third most snaps in the FBS defensively. They gave up the most first downs in the FBS, 335. Ooh. They gave up nearly 500 yards per game in Big 12 play. They're the second most missed tackles in the Big 12. Here's what's crazy. OU's defense has never been good, and yet last year's version was the worst run defense since 2012. Okay, so Venables better get it fixed. Now, that said, like USC, they have done massive amount of works in the transfer portal, trying to fix that front seven. Ton of upperclassmen, fourth-year guys, fifth-year guys. Like they bring in Rondell Buthroyd, a guy who has 31 starts, who's a captain over there at Wake Forest. Deshaun McCullough, a 2022 freshman All-American coming in from Indiana, a linebacker. So he's done work, and the defense should be better. And then it comes down to Dylan Gabriel. And I'm kind of becoming a bit of a Gabriel believer here. There was a piece the other day I read in The Athletic where it was said that Gabriel sat down with Jeff Lebby. They rewatched all 12 games. Then they rewatched the entire season again, sorting by concept, sorting by protection. He said that process took weeks and a lot of intense introspection, really looking at yourself, where your flaws were. That's how you get better. And so we'll see.
I'm not worried about him, though. I'm not worried about Dylan Gabriel.
You're not worried about Dylan Gabriel? Well, if you're not worried about Gabriel, then they should be the second best team in the Big 12.
No. I'm worried about the skill. Once again, he's solid. He's got to stay healthy. We saw the massive drop-off last year when he got hurt. Just go turn the Texas tape. It's like, my God, I've never seen a place like Oklahoma, which has had Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, first picks in the draft quarterbacks. One had to get a transfer quarterback. Actually, there are two quarterbacks last year. They're 1 and 2. Were both transfer quarterbacks. I know it sucks because you lost, one quarterback, each quarterback to the USC's on different coasts, one to South Carolina, one to USC. But the fact that you weren't at least stockpiled with elite talent at quarterback spot, that you have 2 transfer guys and the one goes down, and it was just like you fell off a cliff offensively when it comes to points per game and effectiveness at that position, was kind of scary. They got a 5-star guy. I don't know if he's going to be ready if Dylan does
Jackson
go down.
Arnold. He's an early enrollee, which helps.
We'll have to see. Yeah. Dylan's not a big kid. He's undersized. So there's always a higher probability of getting hurt. I hope he doesn't. Knock on wood for Oklahoma fans' sake. But he doesn't have a lot of guys around him, which is also an interesting spot. Like, I think Oklahoma, I think offense, I think points, I think quarterback play, I think elite receiver play. And right now, you lose Eric Gray at running back. You lose Mims at the receiving position. And then it's like, who's up next? Drake Stoops? Is that next? Farouk? Is he next? Like, none of these guys scream, just like the problems with Alabama right now. None of these guys are top 3, 4, 5 round NFL guys. Like, there isn't the talent on the outside that gives me confidence that the offense could be the exact same it was last year, as hopefully the defense, which makes it to the point of what he said earlier and what you brought up, the defense has to be better this year because the offense is not going to be as prolific as they were last year.
You really don't think so? With another year on task. Like, and I know that we may not know the names of the skill position. Like you said, they may be unproven, but you know they're talented. I don't buy it. The Big 12 does not play good defense. Like the offense should be very good. It's just Brent Venables gets that. The one thing that falls completely flat with me on the Venables front is the talk of culture. Because how can you sit there and claim that you took over a bad culture when you arguably took over the winningest culture the past 25 years?
Yeah.
And then you had the worst year in 25 years. Like no one, like, miss me with we had to remake the culture and, they didn't know what's expected of them. Like, well, what the fuck? Oklahoma's been winning. They won 6 Big 12 championships in a row recently.
Yeah, I don't think he was necessarily saying it was a bad culture. It's just, it's a different culture. It is going from an offensive mindset, which is a little bit softer, to look at what USC was this year.
I mean, describe last year as tougher.
You have been. Yeah, I get that, but it's still a changing process. You can't tell me you've been around enough offensive-minded coaches and defensive-minded coaches in your day to know how they want to run a program. It's vastly different. It is vastly different when a defensive coach is a head coach. The way you work out, the way you practice, the way you meet, everything is different compared to when an offensive-minded coach is a head coach. So yes, the culture had to be changed to what he thought would be best. I don't think he was necessarily saying, once again, that it was a bad culture. Like you alluded to, it was a great culture. They were winning. It just wasn't the mindset of a defensive-minded head coach.
Well, that's a little concerning to me then, because that is like, I want a coach who's a bit malleable. I want a coach who can look at the pieces and say, hey, how do I best employ those pieces? The jamming the square peg in the round hole is never a recipe for success. And so again, as you can tell, this is all not to say that I believe in Brent Venables, although again, he proved me very wrong, continues to prove me wrong in the recruiting trail. So that's a big feather in his cap when arguing. But I just don't understand the full-on belief in Texas and the full disbelief in Oklahoma when Oklahoma still has a lot going for it. Greg Lamont says USC, talking about Southern Cal, USC 2022 is any different than USC 2009, 2021. How? Okay, again, we've talked about this before. You know how they're different? Lincoln Riley, guys. Yeah. Clay Helton, are you fucking kidding me? Who is Clay Helton? Lincoln Riley. Go look at the resume. Like, maybe USC's defense isn't it this year. Maybe the Pac-12 is too good. But again, look at what Lincoln Riley does. USC is going to be a problem going forward. You have to come to accept this. Yeah, he means he says he means in terms of mentality. I would say in terms of mentality, again, Lincoln Riley. It may be a softer offensive mentality like Aaron's talking about, but it is still more cohesive of a vision what Lincoln Riley brings to bear.
Yeah. It's a brand. There is a brand being built at USC that kids can kind of feel and touch and see. I think that's something you can sell. There's a sale there. There was a sale for Oklahoma for so long. I mean, he could go out there and recruit top tier talent on offense. And what could he sell them? You're going to be part of one of the best offenses in America. You're going to score a lot of touchdowns. You're going to get drafted. And if you're a quarterback, you're going to win a Heisman. When's the last time that you could sell something at USC? He can sell that. True. He can sell the USC Trojan brand. He can sell living in Los Angeles, as we saw with the defensive tackle who left Georgia to go to LA and he's living in a penthouse in downtown Los Angeles. You could sell offense. You can sell Heisman
Shut up,
trophies. You
Bear
can sell
Alexander.
being a part of the Big Ten conference now. Like there are all these selling points which they haven't had since Pete Carroll left. That's what the difference is.
Bill Kibbe says the Pac-12 being too good. Raffle. Pac-12 is going to be good this year.
Good. It's going to be very good.
Yeah, I mean, what's the most important position in football there, Bill? Quarterback. Where's all the best quarterbacks, save for Drake May, in the Pac-12? Dan Lannon's got to figure it out at Oregon. He's got Bo Nix back. Kalen DeBoer, Washington, and Michael Penix Jr. return everybody offensively, and they won 11 games last year.
Yep.
Oregon State went 10-3 and beat the fuck out of Florida in a bowl game 30-3. Like that's a good.
I don't know if you can bring up that game. Florida had like 30 players on the roster at the time of the game. Like that's.
I'm so sick of Florida. Why does Florida get to make all these excuses? Whatever.
I'm just saying. I
show
want to
Oregon
take pride in being.
respect.
Don't take pride in being the kid that is already got his ass whooped.
I'm just pointing out Oregon State won 10 games and dominated Florida in the bowl game. That has value.
And they got
Even if
DJU now. They got DJU. You got Cam Rising at Utah, who's a hell of a
quarterback. And then there's Utah, who's just won the damn Pac-12 the past 2 years.
Who's won it. You got Jaden DeLora at Arizona. I know Arizona's not scary, but that's a very good quarterback. It is more talented than it's ever been. And I would say at least a decade when it comes to elite play, really good coaching, and I would say 2 or 3 teams that could make a run for a playoff berth. That being Washington, Oregon, and USC, obviously.
Bill Kibbe said if the Pac-12 matched up against the SEC top to bottom, who would dominate? I mean, I think the SEC comes out ahead, but I don't think this year, on any given year, a lot of other years they get. This year, I think it would be closer than you think. Nate Dogg says, if not for Bryce Young, Lincoln Riley would have 4 Heisman quarterbacks on his resume. That's funny. I think by Bryce Young, you meant Joe Burrow. And Nate Dogg, I'm just using this as a point to get to this because we're talking about Caleb Williams. We're talking about his potential entering this season. Aaron, when's the last time you looked at the Jalen Hurts year under Lincoln Riley? That's not who Caleb Williams is, but I just want to bring up again, because Joe Burrow made all of this get erased. Jalen Hurts, this is to reinforce the coach that Lincoln Riley is. Jalen Hurts, after transferring in to join Lincoln Riley, in 1 year, completed 70% of his passes. He threw for 3,800 yards, 11 yards per attempt, 32 touchdowns, 8 picks. He ran for 1,300 yards, averaging 5.5 yards a carry and 20 more touchdowns. This man accounted for 275 through the air and 92 on the ground a game. And he scored 52 touchdowns. And we don't remember him because Joe Burrow. Lincoln Riley is a fucking dog. And he's done it with so many different quarterbacks, and he's going to keep doing it. So,
I mean, if I'm a top quarterback, the thought of being a quarterback in an NIL era with a guy that has had that many Heisman Trophy quarterbacks in Los Angeles.
Man.
I mean,
who imagines what kind of
if you got a chance, I'd be in trouble, boys. I'd be in trouble. Matt Leinart would be in trouble.
Matt Leinart
wish he played right now.
Matt Leinart probably already was in trouble. I'm sure Matt Leinart was getting paid back in the day. I'm sorry, Matt. I don't know. I mean, I don't know for real, but probably.
Hey, one quick thing real quick, because we got a nice little live watchers today as we continue to grow this YouTube channel. We do appreciate everyone tuning in live, just because like T-Bob and I are doing right now, we love to interact. We love that to answer your questions. Make sure you continue to chat it up, but take a quick second and please hit that thumbs up button. Season's right upon us. We're getting excited. We're trying to grow this channel to get as big of a reach as possible. So by you guys chatting and you guys liking it, hitting that thumbs up really goes a long way.
Absolutely. Great. That's a good remember, we live in a day and age where the algorithmic gods rule our existence. I had to have a real look in the mirror moment when Amazon was putting big boobed anime mouse pads on my kind of suggestions for things to me to purchase. At first, I kind of tweeted about like, hey, how is this? And then everybody's like, well, it's probably on you. And so I had to change. The point is, algorithms rule everything. Help us grow the show. Liking it, subscribing, that all really, really helps. And if you're into anime, big boob mouse pads, that's okay, man. That's okay. Live your truth. Okay. It's 2023. We're allowed to be into whatever we're into. There's no kink shaming here on Snaps. That's a core rule.
Goodness.
Love it. Okay. There's a couple of things I want to get to. We're going to pick out some of our favorite helmets. Common cell phone for T-Bob, says Greg. Fair. I know I do that a lot. It's like when I didn't realize that sometimes Twitter likes got fed into other people's feeds, and it would say like T-Bob Hebert like this, and I was just liking a lot of thick thoughts, and luckily finally one of my friends was like, you've got to stop. This keeps getting put onto this is publicly viewed. I was like, oh shit. Okay. You're right. Got to
Did you not learn from the guy from what position was he at Michigan who just got in trouble and fired like a month ago?
Oh, I don't know. Did I somehow miss a story about liking Insta thoughts and getting fired? No, I'm not sure. He got, I thought he was like changing grades or something. I'm not sure.
No.
Bulma boots everywhere. Yeah. See, Thomas gets it. Shout out DBZ. That's how you end up with it on your algorithm though. College football nerds at CFB nerds. This is a Twitter account that I enjoy. They had an interesting food for thought, Aaron. I'm going to read this. They said, many think college football playoff expansion increases parity, but the data suggests the opposite. In this thread, we'll show you the data, the consequences, and share one good thing the expanded playoffs bring. They basically go on to surmise that while the playoffs, you think they increase parity because they allow more teams to enter, that you could also argue that with so many teams getting in, with 12 teams getting in, that instead of increasing parity, you're just giving mulligans to the best teams, right? So Alabama, instead of it mattering that they lost to LSU last year, or instead of the kick six mattering, it doesn't. They still make the playoff, and they still get to go, and you have to beat them again. It's like trying to kill the zombie that just won't die in one of these movies, or like when Purdue just absolutely blew out Ohio State in a 12-team playoff. Doesn't matter. Ohio State's still making the playoffs. So it's a bit of interesting food for thought. And while I still
gets the best team
playoff,
it still gets the best team in there.
But does it devalue the regular season?
No, it doesn't. Like NFL, like it is. I think people don't understand. Like it is not easy, obviously, to win 12 games. It's not easy to get up for your job every single day and think that you're going to perform A++++. Like these are 18 to 20-year-old kids. They're going to have a shitty day. Every now and then they're going to have a shitty Saturday, and they're going to lose. Doesn't make them a team that is not good enough to win a national championship. It just means they had a really bad Saturday. They're fucking human. We're all human. We have bad days. So like, I love the fact that you can have a human moment as a team and have a bad day, and that not cost you an opportunity to still prove to the country that you're the best team in America. It happens to all of us, man.
Okay.
Like,
no, that's pretty good. I mean, I guess I feel, but are we more friendly to that interpretation because the schools that we follow and talk about are in the club? Like LSU.
But our schools are also the ones that have more talent that probably are considered one of the best teams in America.
Yeah, but hasn't it been kind of one of the
I still want to crown the best team.
Okay. Yeah.
If a team's bad, they're going to lose more than one game. Like a team's not going to just fumble around and futz and putts and somehow end up 11-1. And you just say, oh, they just had one unlucky game. If you're a great team and you're a team that deserves to get in, you're still going to be 10-2. You're going to be 11-1. You're going to be 12-0. Like you can't get lucky 12 weeks out of the year. You got to be elite. And yeah, you may have one bad week. You may have a close second loss. Like Alabama's a perfect example last year. I covered them in their bowl game versus Kansas State. That was a great football team led by two guys that got drafted number 1 and number 3 overall in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Like they lost both games by a 2-point conversion and a last second field goal on the road against two other teams that were great.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me that team in a 12-team playoff wouldn't deserve to still be one of the 12 teams fighting for a championship. That they didn't have the talent or the team or the coaching staff to get in there. They did. Maybe not a 4-team playoff, but a 12-team playoff, hell yeah, they did.
Okay, you know, you've kind of brought me around on this, and Greg raises an excellent point as well. This also encourages big-time programs to schedule big-time games. Fair. And I'm always hammering, get rid of cupcake games. I want only quality every single week. And this would encourage teams to do that because you have more margin of error. And I guess the other part that would maybe work against the college football nerds here, which is a great account, you should all go follow it at CFP Nerds, is that it may be giving mulligans to that group of excellent teams. But like Aaron's saying, those are probably the teams that deserve it anyway. And those are the only teams capable of winning the Natty. Right. Like if you're outside that group, and also what cannot be ignored is we're going to get games like Oregon at Tennessee in like a first round playoff game. And that's going to be sick, or vice versa, like Tennessee going to Eugene. So it is a bit of a have and have nots situation. But you've kind of convinced me that I feel good.
The only
again.
thing that I take away that I agree,
I feel good again now.
Yeah. The one thing that I will agree with them on that is the automatic bids for conference champs. Like I get that. Like
you don't like
you
that?
can't
See, I love that.
I don't like it where they're being placed. Like I don't think a say you have 2 conference champions, say you have a Texas that's 10-2. Say a Clemson that's 11-2. A 2-loss team, just because you won your conference, essentially one of those would still get a top 4 seed, which I don't know if you lost 2 crappy games, but yet won your conference, why should you get a first round bye? I still should be ranked essentially 1 through 12, wherever you lay, you lay. If the best 3 teams in the country all come from one conference, then they should go 1 through 3, and they should benefit from having the best seasons in America. Not, hey, 1 through 4 is going to be reserved for conference champions. If the conference championship is not great compared to another team, I don't think they should deserve to go in there.
But it does. So I do like it though, because I like conference championships. And if you don't at least have the bye on the line, then you've just completely devalued them. Like if you don't even have the bye up for the grabs,
already. I think
they are. No, they are. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is like the last vestige though. This is like the last benefit to why should I give a fuck about this conference championship is, you get a bye week. And think about the value of a bye week at that point in the year. And quite frankly,
but you also get a bye week if you don't play in a conference championship game. You get a bye week then if you know you're going to get in.
Well, which Power 5 does not play in a conference championship now though? Don't they all?
Yeah, they all play.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, what's the point of a conference champion? Like, I would rather be 11. I would rather be LSU.
Hang a banner, dude, to be the
coming from the fucking guy who last year wouldn't travel to Atlanta because he didn't care about putting a fucking banner up because whatever, it's just the SC championship game.
Like you're
like
you know what you do. You know what you do. Have you ever heard the term henpecked? I feel like I'm being henpecked over not traveling to Atlanta. Okay. It's like an old country turn where your spouse just won't stop fucking needling you. Hello, Aaron. I've explained why I didn't go to Atlanta and I don't need to do it again. It's because LSU fans are fucking smart. And they knew that this overachieving 9-3 team that just got their teeth kicked in by Texas A&M didn't stand a fucking chance against Georgia last year. Okay. That's just the truth. It sucks. Okay. I'm sorry that LSU fans could be objective and could recognize that it was not worth it to spend thousands. Money's hard to come by in this state. Okay. Our state economy, y'all fucking took the movie industry from us with your tax breaks, Georgia. Okay. And now you got Marvel and Walking Dead and all that shit over there. Okay. No, I'm sorry we didn't waste $2,000 going to watch the team lose 50-30. Yeah, and I had a child.
I guess this will be an interesting topic for the future. I don't know if we want to dive into it right now, but yes, you did have a child. I mean, do we keep conference championship games? Like as we get further and further along in this 12-team playoff, are we going to see teams like baseball? Because someone just brought up your LSU Tigers. Like no one cares. Like if you're an elite baseball team, you could give 2 shits about, but it's a little bit different because you're worried about the arm of your pitcher and rotation, all that stuff. Like it's a little bit different than football.
No, but in baseball and basketball, conference tournaments don't matter as much to me as regular season. tournaments.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like regular season SEC champs in baseball, huge accomplishment. It means over 30 conference games, you came out on top. That is massive. I don't care about the tournament. Same thing in basketball. And to your point, Aaron, maybe we get a few years into this experience and we kind of look around and we're like, hey, what are we doing, guys? You know?
Yeah.
Like we can probably get rid of these. Brum, do you want to do helmet or the video of Quinn Ewers?
Helmet.
Okay, so earlier, our own Danny Cardenas. Where did it put my phone?
Actually, I sent it, by the way.
Oh, it wasn't Danny? That's in it. You sent it?
No.
Okay. Aaron Murray sent an ESPN post discussing the best helmets in all of college football. We'll go through our top 3. Aaron, you get to draft first. Who you like the best?
Ooh, top 3. I'm gonna go my number. Yeah. I guess we did top 3. The one that I love the most would be the NC State Wolfpack red with the big wolf on the side. That's pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice
you like
pull.
that one? Yeah.
If only NC State could ever actually follow through on their potential. Like everybody kept thinking they were such a sexy pick to win the ACC, and then they just completely.
We're going 3-1, right? 3-1. That's my number 3.
Okay. My number 3 would be Tennessee. I thought about this. Yeah, I'm thinking about how I want to rank them. My number 3 would be Tennessee. I know a lot of people think. Well, I don't know what a lot of people think. You know me. I love medieval shit, and Tennessee's orange and the white and then the checkerboard on the field, everything about them just feels like a knight, like a medieval lord's house. And just that clean, crisp orange tee on the white helmet, I actually really enjoy. So I'll pick Tennessee, 3rd best helmet in the country.
It's for Paulie right here. I'm going Notre Dame for my number 2.
Oh, that's my number 2 as well.
Yeah, it's just, I'll let you kind of hit on it too, but it's just between Rudy and everything else, it just to me, I look at it and I think it's like good old just traditional football. Makes me all warm and fuzzy inside.
It's the gold to me. It's that gold, that true gold spray paint that just fucking shines. And maybe it is just that stupid Steen and Rudy where they're like spray painted, but talking about it. But yeah, that's my number 2 as well. For me, number 1, Michigan Wolverines, dude.
Oh, you took mine.
Yes, let's go, dude. Actually, fuck. I want to change my number 3 from Tennessee. Tulane should probably be number 3. Tulane's got really, really good helmets. Yeah, the blue helmet, the Servant Pelican Emil brings up is great. But anyway, number 1, Michigan Wolverines. It's classic. It's got a bit of dynamism with the kind of shape. I don't know what that is supposed to. It's are they supposed to be like Wolverine stripes? I suppose. I like the maize and yellow color combination. That's technically what those colors are. Okay, I guess this one is. Michigan is somehow classic while not feeling old and tired, which I find to be deeply impressive.
I forgot which game it was. I don't know if it was Madden. I'm pretty sure it's NCAA, but you could create essentially a new university or a new uniform, whatever it was. And I would always use that style to create my new uniform. So like it just has always been one of my favorite styles. Obviously different color combination, but the overall style has to go number 1 for me.
Okay, so maize is yellow. So I thought maize was blue, I think. So maize is yellow. That makes sense because maize has something to do with corn. I should know this, right? I mean, I'm the Corn Hub guy.
You are.
I know. By the way, buy your Corn Hub merch for football season. Get ready, boys. Because look, all I'm saying is invest in Nebraska while the stock is cheap, okay? Because 5 to 6 weeks in, the bandwagon's going to be rolling, prices are going to be skyrocketing, and we're going to be counting our corn futures, just fucking stacking cash. Well, all y'all are going to be out there buying in. Invest in Nebraska now. Trent Ritchie says maize and maize isn't the same word. T-Bob, well, now I'm confused. I don't know. You're telling me maize corn and maize the color are different, but the color is yellow? How does that make any sense? Greg says T-Bob's going to be so annoying if Nebraska's good. I think he meant when Nebraska's good. Well, I think that'll do it for today's show. Brum, could you hit the Quinn Ewers video on the way out here? And I want the chat to tell me, does this make you, and do we have the sound with it? I mean, I guess we don't have to have sound with it, but does this video make you more or less impressed with Texas? Oh my God.
That is one awesome uniform. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Like, that is a 7-5 energy video, bro.
That is between that, the shirtless pictures of the quarterbacks from the other day for Texas. I mean, I'm buying stock hard right now. Let's go.
Look, I'll give Arch this.
Hook him.
Arch is fucking jacked. How come you never looked like that in college, Aaron?
Because I wanted to be a quarterback and not a weightlifter.
Oh yeah, tell him. Oh, do you say? Wait, is this our take for tomorrow? Is Arch Manning Brady Quinn 2.0? Is he too jacked?
Tim Tebow,
yeah,
Will Levis,
yeah.
Like, I think quarterbacks need to learn. Look at Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. Drew Brees, your boy down there in New Orleans. Like they were flexible. They weren't jacked. They were strong in the right places. Like this isn't you're not a weightlifter. You're not supposed to be, trying to pick up chicks on the beach. You need to be lean, flexible, and quick twitched.
Wow.
Too much muscle, you can't. Yeah.
Where else would lean, flexibility, and quick twitch muscles come into play, Aaron? Probably something else you were pretty good back in college.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. QB1, baby.
Field, baby. QB1.
All right, yeah. You can't turn it off. Can't turn it off. Hey, we love you. It's so much fun being back live, and we will be back live tomorrow. So look forward to that. And then we got SEC Media Days coming up next week, which I can't promise you exactly what the plan is going to be. I can promise you I believe it's going to be a lot of fun. So as always, a massive thank you to Ryan Brumley, Paul Ferry, to Pat Gunner, Danny Carnes, Adam Gracia. A huge, massive thank you to The Volume and Papa Colin for having us here. And we will see you again tomorrow. Please, again, subscribe, youtube.com/@volumesnaps. Hit the like button. Thank you, Bill. And then if you listen to Pod, Spotify, Apple, share with your friends, rate and review. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.